Namaste and good evening to one and all. Welcome to Leaders Connect 360's episode LC0144. Leaders Connect 360 is CSR initiative by BJA training and organized by the Mass Leadership. My name is Shani and I am pursuing my BCom Honors degree at SRM. Leaders Connect 360 is started with a specific objective of inviting 1,000 plus leaders and create a million leaders. It is an online hub where every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. we learn from top management leaders on Zoom Live. And once in quarter in each city, we have an offline networking meet to network, support, and grow with the leaders. That's when we call it Leaders Create More Leaders. Currently, all are muted, and we will be giving you an opportunity to speak to our guest, Mr. Thiyagaraj JS, Senior Vice President, Cluster Head, Motilal Oswal Wealth Limited, and panel discussion leader, Ms. Alagu Lakshmanan, NPL Life Coach, founder ALisWELL. Before you are unmuted, let me share that we are currently live on LinkedIn and this episode LC0144 is being recorded. First-time visitors may click on the WhatsApp, FB, and LinkedIn link on the chat box to get updated by joining us in creating more leaders. And all in the house are requested to turn on your videos, which will help in making the episode highly interactive. So, are we all ready to interact with the guests and panel discussion leader? Then share a thumbs up or smiley emoji in the chat box. Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you. Before the introduction of the guest, let me also introduce Mr. Pankaj, Managing Partner, Vijay Training, will interact with our guest along with the panel discussion leader, Ms. Alagu Lakshmanan. I shall welcome you all. Over to you, Mr. Pankaj.
Thank you so much, Ms. Janni. Thank you for the wonderful start. So I welcome all the visitors and special welcome to Mr. Thiyagaraj, who is our guest today. So welcome to the session. And yes, the topic itself is very interesting today, the art of investing on say income. Uh, say it's related to money, and I believe everyone out here in this room would really love to learn and understand how is that our money can make more money, right? And that is what I can see. I mean, the recent lot of marketing ads which are being done by Motilal Oswal, right? And that's a
Yes.
very new concept and the new way of doing it. So yes, sir, we all are really excited to hear you learn something new today, but with the perspective of investment and savings and money. So before I welcome you, let me take this opportunity to share the agenda. So we are going to have a panel discussion, which is going to be taken care by Miss Alagu. Then there will be a small quiz, which will be taken by Miss Rashmi. And then we'll have summary for the session by Mr. Senthil. And then we'll have a networking session. So before we start, I would request Mr. Arul to play the official welcome video for our guest, Mr. Thiyagaraj and Miss Alagu. So Arul, play the video, please. Thank you, Arul. So here I officially welcome Thiyagaraj sir for the event.
Good evening, Pankaj, Alagu, and Arul. Thanks for this wonderful opportunity. Very nice video. So it's really wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for taking your time and be here with us today. So without taking much of the time, I would like to invite Miss Alagu to have the panel discussion with you for the day. So over to you, Miss Alagu, for the panel discussion.
You're on
Unmute
mute.
yourself. Unmute
You're on
yourself.
mute.
Miss Alagu, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, I've done it. Yeah. Thank you, Pankaj. Welcome, Mr. Thiyagaraj.
Thank you.
Yeah. Before really getting into the topic, could you briefly explain what passive income avenues mean?
See, passive income is generally when we look at, there are different avenues which are available. So, like when you look at uh, people are like other than the professional or maybe the corporate, like whatever we run, we will have different talents. Okay, that's one. So generally, they pursue those talents. And apart from this, some of them look at avenues of investments, and some of them look at avenues of real estate. So there are different avenues which are available. So when we get into the topic, we will discuss in detail about whatever we have options in terms of investments, because I'm a banker as a profession. So let's discuss what is available as an avenue and what are the smartest way which we can look at in this when we look at this passive income
Yeah.
as a source. Yeah.
So, like you said, there are a lot of investment avenues, and what would be how can individuals strike a balance between traditional investment strategies where like you said, land or shares, whatever, and the newer passive income avenues?
Correct. See, when we talk about tradition, what comes to our mind generally? So, any individual for that matter, our parents or maybe our ancestors, anyone for that matter, traditionally, where are we parking our funds? Where are we investing? So, when we look
Gold,
at
yeah, gold,
yeah,
land.
so correct. As you said, the land, real estate basically, and gold, and other avenues are fixed deposit, bank fixed deposit, and some of them look at post office savings. So these are the traditional ones which generally we look at in anyone's life, actually speaking. So who are not uh, looking at any other options like investments or no portfolio management, wealth management. So those people look at the option of these four avenues. Earlier, when you look at, we will go one by one. When we look at real estate, so what we were doing earlier, we keep acquiring lands, and as and when there is a requirement, we will sell it. So it is like not an organized way. It is not governed basically. So we come across a lot of litigations and all those things in the property. So now currently when we look at, there is a good avenue which is coming up because the culture which is developing now, right, in a bigger way. So in every states and every cities when you look at, so the flat is one of the good avenue for the passive income as well.
Okay.
When we look at, because we get rental income. Secondly, we also get a capital appreciation through investing in the property. Okay, and again, third, it is governed by REITs. Okay, so in that way, so that is one of the passive income source which we can look at instead of getting into the land, acquiring land, and all those things. So anyone who look at property, the first property is always for our own, and generally, the second one when we go for it is for the rental income, the passive income, what we are talking about. And again, in the rental income also, when we're looking at buying something, some property for passive income, we have two ways of looking at it. One is the residential property, another one is the commercial property. So generally, in residential property, yield somewhere around 2 to 3% average returns. That is per annum. That what is that we look at in the residential property. When you take a look of commercial properties, it is always somewhere around 6 to 7% is the yield. The only thing is the difference is the maintenance will be little difficult when in terms of no commercial property when we are looking at. So again, gold. So generally, gold when we buy, it does not look as an. I mean, we never look as an investment.
Mm.
We look at as a ornament basically. So we purchase no jewelries and we use it and no move it to the next generation. That is how no the gold has been traditionally seen. Now, when we look at passive income, we have other alternatives. Generally, why I'm telling you other alternatives is basically gold is never considered as an investment, as I told you, uh, because when we go for ornaments, when you go for jewelries, so what is happening is when we buy and sell, we incur a lot of wastages, making charges, and all those things which are inbuilt basically. So when you look at an alternative, we have sovereign gold bonds which are available, ETF, gold ETFs which are available. So those are good avenues. In fact, when you look at the sovereign gold bond, there we get a interest income of 2.5% every half-yearly basis. It will get credited in your account, and for the next 8 years till the maturity you keep getting this. And additionally, the as per the the market raise, the gold prices raise, so you
Yeah.
get that appreciation as well. So on that note, it is best avenue when we look at actually. So so instead of stocking up the gold jewelries, we can look at this SGBs. So SGBs are maybe no ETF anything. When you look at the market price of this moves in tandem with the domestic gold price only. So in that way, it is good. And next comes what we discussed about is the post office, correct? Post office and bank savings. So when we look at post office and bank savings account, so generally, there are different multiple schemes available in post office, which is one of the wonderful avenue. And the best thing in the post office is actually, our PPF. We can take it, Public Provident Fund, and the pension fund, which is available. So all those are good avenues. So let's talk about the PPF, which is one of the best option, which a lot of HNIs, ultra HNIs look at it actually. Why? Because the PPF actually, when you look at, you get a return of 7.7 to 7.5% on an average. So which is getting accumulated throughout a period of 15 year. Because any PPF when you take it, it is 15-year term basically. Okay, so which get accumulated, and when we get back, it is tax free. The second one is the best thing is it's a tax free income, and third, it is backed by the government of India, right? So in that way, one is completely secured, and second one is one more thing. When in terms of security, when you look at the PPF money, the best thing is the PPF money will not be attached by the court of law also. So that's one of
Okay.
the beautiest thing in the PPF. That is the reason no any in any HNIs for that matter. I've seen a lot of my customers. Whenever there is a newborn in the family, immediately they create an account and start investing. So
Mm.
in a financial year, you can invest close to about 1.5 lakhs. That's the maximum limit which we can invest. So what they do is they will spread across the
Mm.
family.
Mm.
So that's one of the best avenue which we can generally look at in the PPF. So in similar way, bank deposits, all these are really good in terms of guaranteed money which we get actually. So all those are passive income as well. So because the interests which will be coming from the bank deposits, so those are which we can look at, and CDs, I mean corporate deposits, all those things we can look at actually. So generally, when we look at these avenues, when is one is the what we are talking about, the real estate we see that on a regular basis, which will be available present in front of us, okay, whenever we want to look and feel. And similar way, gold, we can touch and feel, use it, so all those traditionally we look at. And secondly, in terms of fixed deposit or PPF, anything what we are talking about, so we always look at which is like my capital is protected,
Mm.
guaranteed. Okay, those terms only we generally look at.
Correct.
The human mentality is as such, we generally go for these things. which is no protected and all those things.
More
But end
safe.
of the day, when you, yeah. But end of the day, when you look at, so either the properties or gold or maybe these instruments what we park it, we keep it for a longer term, which is like in terms of PPF it is 15 years. In terms of property, anytime how many properties we keep selling until unless we are I mean professional, we generally not sell anything on a regular basis. Otherwise, if there is any special requirements or need. And similar way, gold also. So we which will move from generation to generation. That is how it is actually. So in fact, no, when I'm talking about this guarantee, I'm just remembering a joke, which is like which has happened in one of the interview of Doctor what do you call Subramania Swamy when he was addressing some of the student in the Harvard University. So that point of time he was asking the students. So how many of you willing to get a challenging that is entrepreneur roles, and how many of you looking at a regular job?
Jobs.
Okay. So people, most of them were coming up saying, no, I will go for a job where every year I get some good incremental in the salary, and it is good. So when then he was talking about, so it is going to be, even though it is you get salary incremental and all those things, but it is like when we look at I mean it is going to be a guaranteed no one which we are looking at, correct? So it is not like since it is like any time, any point of time, my salary every month I'm going to get it. Okay. So the guaranteed what we are looking at, that is what we are focusing. So similar way, we are also attached to that word guarantee. So much attached to the word guarantee. That is the reason we are looking at these kind of avenues. Otherwise, there are a lot of things which are available around. Like for an example, when you are looking at a deposit, okay, like let's say if you have 1 crore today, so where will you park? Which institution, which bank will you look at parking this deposit?
You're asking me.
Yeah. So
I
where
wish
will
I
you
had.
park? Yeah. So anyone for that matter, where will
Okay.
there will be no look at which option we look at when we have no 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore.
Maybe land. Maybe land.
Okay, or it is like when we wanted to park it in deposits, because land is like a long term thing, right? So maybe we cannot liquidate it so quickly.
Immediately, yeah.
So when we wanted to whenever we need, when we wanted to liquidate or something, what kind of thing we look at? Fixed deposit,
Fixed
right?
deposits.
So where will we go? Which bank you will generally look at?
Normal nationalized bank.
Nationalized bank. Why is it so? Nationalized bank.
Security purpose. Like we are very
Right.
sure of.
So that is what we were talking about, the guaranteed and the good backup. So we know for sure it is like either we
It is
choose
safe.
this SBI, HDFC, ICICI, those kind of banks actually we look at. Even the corporate deposits where we look at some kind of reputed organizations, right? So that is where we look at these CDs and all those things, right? So when you look at when we are okay to park our money for a longer period, even when I have 10 crore, 5 crore, whatever it is, be it, I'm okay to park it for a longer period. What is that I'm doing here? I'm giving money, that is basically I'm lending to the particular institution.
Correct.
Or a bank. Okay. So with my money, what they are doing is they are progressing well in their I mean the institution
Their business, yeah.
Basically the progressing well. So we never look at why don't we invest this in that same company? Like for an example, SBI or maybe HDFC or ICICI, if you can look at, it's growing pretty strong for a very long time, right? So all these are governed by RBI again. It comes under RBI governance.
RBI regulations,
so, yeah. So and it is like we could see the results on a regular basis. It is pretty strong. Not only banks, I'm talking about any other institutions also, like Infosys or maybe TCS or maybe HCL, anything for that matter. Even the Bharti Airtel or anything, the good companies, what I'm talking about. So they are now regularly giving dividends to the customers. Okay, that is one of the passive income. One, and secondly, they are also doing really well in their segment, basically in their businesses. So what happens now? Whenever we invest something, when we take a stock, okay, uh, by default, now what is happening is we are now making them to work with
For
us.
us.
Yes, they are working for us, actually speaking. Yeah. So in that case, we should look at traditional ways are really good, but passive income, there are different avenues. The investment in avenue also is one of the good thing. So these are for long term again, okay, not for a shorter period. When you are looking at 6 months, 3 months, it won't work out. So like the traditional investments, whatever we are looking at for a longer period, like gold or real estate or PPF or anything for that matter, similar way we will have to look out.
Okay.
3 year, 5 year, 10 years, when we look at. So these are instruments which generally, give us best result. So that is what I generally advise.
Okay. What else could be the misconception that people have when you talk about other passive income?
Misconception when you look at passive income is generally, when we think about passive income, everyone mind is like going towards quick money. Where will I make immediate money? Like a lot of people say talk about I made 20%, 30% in in the intraday. I made 30-40% in crypto, Bitcoin. So many the things which are popping up always. So whatever good for me may not be good for you.
Correct.
Vice versa. So you might be good in something and you might have made some good money. It may not work out for me. So generally, the misconception is they they wanted to get a good fund flow, quick fund flow, and wanted to save and get this quickly. So get settled very well. So that is what they're looking at. So income is not as such. It has to we have to grow gradually. The stability should be there. Okay. So consistency should be there. So because the passive income, why are we looking at passive income? In terms of any eventualities. So when I look at venturing out something new, when my salary stops,
Yeah.
or maybe like COVID, a lot of people lost their job.
A support system, a finance
Yeah.
support system. Yeah.
So it should be good enough to take care of our requirements. And there is any eventualities, and to take care of our regular maybe every one will have different goals in life. So to achieve those goals, it should be a stepping stone to achieve that little easy. So on that way, instead of looking at these kind of volatility, or maybe taking words of few people venturing out into these kind of instruments, it is not good actually. So you will have to look out for an option which are no tradition, what we were talking about, and which are keep coming to us on a regular basis throughout our life. Okay. So those kind of misconception is what we should avoid, especially for the beginners, especially for the new investors.
New investors.
Yes. So
So
they
when
should
we
not.
were, yeah.
If at all, if they wanted to venture out those kind of instruments, those kind of things, investments, they can try with 5-10% maximum, where it will not pinch them.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah. So when we
Yeah.
were talking about the volatility of the market, so
Right.
how important is it to diversify our investments?
Diversification is really important in any market situation. It's not only about volatility, or maybe when we are looking at passive income, anything and everything we will have to give a diversification. That is when our funds will be safe, because every market situation in terms of investment I'm talking about, sometimes the equity market may not do good. Like for an example, one side war is happening. We have seen the COVID situation. So, so those point of times, what happens, the equity may not perform to an
Right.
extent. It might drop down. So we can look at some debt funds as a asset allocation. Generally, we have to go with asset allocation. That is really important in the diversification basically. Okay, and with a risk mitigation. So generally, everyone's risk will be different. So I will have different risk tolerance level, and you will have different risk
Correct.
tolerance
Correct.
level.
Yeah.
So depending on that, we will have to look at asset allocation as a prime one. Okay. Secondly, if anyone for that matter, maybe whenever I recruit any new team member, or maybe whenever I connect with any new customers, first what I do is like first step is I will when I do the financial planning basically. So what I check with them is, will they carry the emergency fund? That is basically any one of us. So should keep reserves of 3 to 6 month minimum of our salary, or maybe business income, whatever we get. So that is the first step which we need to look at.
Okay.
Okay. Second one is the Mediclaim health policy, which is like to be frank, I'll tell you, many of my clients I come across, so they were talking about, I Mediclaim, I'm covered with my office.
Mm.
Okay. So what happens when sometimes when we lose job?
Mm.
What happens when we are away from the
From the
company,
job.
from the job? So what will happen? So that point of time, when we take a new policy, most of the diseases, or maybe most of the illness, will not be covered. They
Mm.
have a different time frame for covering each and every illness. Okay. So when the age goes, when we keep, I mean, when in a longer run, when we look at, so we need a cover which should help us in the emergency.
Okay.
It should not be we should not rely on the office cover. We should not rely on anything which is like which is not permanent basically.
Mm.
Because nowadays when you look at, not like earlier olden days, we stick on to one single organization, stay there and retire. Today,
Correct.
when you look at the youngsters, they keep jumping 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, months, keep jumping jobs. So when we keep moving jobs, we take break also in between.
Mm.
So what
Correct.
happens in those times? So when we are venturing out something new policy or something, it will not cover. So always good to have one good health insurance with an accidental cover. A
Okay.
term plan should be there to protect the family in terms of eventualities. So these are the basics needs which needs to be taken care first.
Okay.
The fourth step is the investment. When it comes
Mm.
to investments also, that point of time we will have to look at asset allocation again. It should be depending on the risk appetite again. So someone will be like good to have 70% equity and 30% debt. Some may be good at 50-50. Some may be good at 30 equity and 70 debt. So it's not about age. It is about the risk tolerance level.
Okay.
So when we are looking at money, like for an example, when I have, I mean, when I'm saving money and I have, let's say 5 crore in my
Mm.
account. So in the last 5 years, last 10 years, so how many times I've used that?
Mm.
That you need to check. Okay.
Okay.
So in terms of requirements, so will it be okay to park it in the equity?
Uh,
So that is how the risk tolerance level. If it goes down, will I be okay?
uh,
If it goes down by 10%, when my 1 crore coming down to 80 or 60, will I be okay? Anyway, the market will bounce back. We never know how long
how
it
it is.
takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
So
you can
that is,
sustain that factor. Yeah.
yeah. So that is important. So these are the prime ones which generally when I sit with the clients, or maybe when I recruit anyone new, freshers and all those people. So I generally advise these things.
Mm.
So it's in my way. It's like always we should look at, these are the important avenues. These are really everyone should focus.
Mm.
Everyone should get one. So
Mm.
that is what we look at. So always any market situation, whether it is the volatile or not. still we will have to look at asset allocation, the risk mitigation. So it has to be diversified.
Okay.
So whether it is a passive income or maybe our regular
Regular.
incomes, it
Okay.
has to be diversified. So that is my way of thinking generally.
Could you briefly explain what asset allocation is?
Asset allocation is basically, as I told you, when we look at equity, debt component, because equity sometimes drop. That point of time, the debt will help us to get some regular returns. That is the regular 8-9% what it generate through bonds or maybe debt mutual funds or like ETFs what we are talking about. So there are different avenues which are available in the debt instruments, and similar way equities as well. Equity in the sense not only stocks, we have mutual funds, we have alternate investments, portfolio management services. Too many are there actually. When we get into that, it's a detail, it's a big subject actually speaking.
Yeah.
In general, when there is an asset allocation, it has to be go with debt and equity, and to an extent and alternates sometimes like getting into additional properties or maybe for a longer run, longer period, where the money which is not required at all, that can be kept aside for venturing out something like we were talking about bitcoins or maybe
Yeah.
so crypto, all those things which we are not sure.
Yeah.
So that is how it is.
That is my next question actually when we speak
Okay.
about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. So what is your takeaway on that? And is it how do you at least see those now?
Yeah, it's good actually. In my view, in any business, when we do not understand the derivative or the basic avenues, okay, we should not venture out. Okay, in every cycle, we keep getting something or the other, like earlier chip finance, okay, MLM, and sometime there are something like teakwood farming, emu farming. So it will come and it will go.
Correct.
So it will not stay for a long period. So when and second, whenever when we are looking at these options, some of them will say I've taken this much of check, this much of revenues, returns, and all those things. So we will fall on that. We
Correct.
should actually first one, because there is no proper derivative, proper source. When we are not getting the proper source where we are getting this money, we should not get in. That is one. Okay. And secondly, when we either we should have expertise or we should have time to experiment, to learn. Then maybe you can look at that option. At this stage in the corporate life, everyone is running, and it's like minimum 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. We are in
Yeah, we don't have time.
We don't have time to to experiment or learn something new in this way. So moreover, when there is no clear picture, please stay away. Don't venture out.
Okay.
Don't get into those things. So that is my advice actually. So because
So
these
you wouldn't advise to your customers on cryptocurrency or Bitcoins?
No, I never, because I myself not convinced actually speaking. So
That's
whenever
what I
I'm not
wanted to know.
convinced, so I should not talk about
Definitely.
it actually. So
Definitely.
because
Yeah.
I'm not sure the source, proper source. So let it come in a proper light, and
Correct.
when it is regularized properly. So that time maybe we can look at it. So at
Correct.
this moment we have a lot of avenues. Why to get into these kind of in that current situation basically. So we might lose. As I said earlier, so if you wanted to venture out, you take 5%, 10%.
Less,
If
yeah.
it is not pinching you. Okay. Otherwise, don't explore something new. So when
Yeah.
we have a lot of options available, it is not the only option.
Correct.
Anytime, don't venture something new, but hearing from someone or maybe because of the advertisements, what you see.
Yeah.
So that is always good.
That's become crazy these days, right? Like people say
Correct.
we get so much and all that. Yeah.
Correct. So that is my take.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this. How can leaders inspire and empower their teams as leaders?
Okay.
to take a first step to have passive income, invest on passive income. So what is
Okay.
that? To have a income stream, a regular passive income stream.
Right. Right. See, this is important, really important. Why? Because no, nowadays, no, we don't find time for
Mm.
ourselves. So we are really busy in our career or maybe in corporate life or in business, anyone for that matter. So, but as a human no mentality, we wanted an upgrade. So we wanted a no upgrade lifestyle, and like we upgrade our phone, upgrade our car, or maybe anything for that matter. So we never stop anywhere saying no, I'm okay with this. I'm good with this. So we wanted to develop much better lifestyle. Okay. So the requirements also keep coming up on a drastic way in terms of technology and all those things when you look at. So for an example, the phone, what it was started just for communication, and now it's like everything in our
That's
phone.
life.
Yes, without phone we cannot live only. So that is how no. So the digital things also growing up strongly, and we are also wanted to keep upgrading everything.
Dating. Mm.
Okay, so on that ground, money is important, and money is important. So the regular source of your salary or maybe the business income what we are getting, it may not be sufficient to
Mm.
keep upgrade our lifestyle and to keep maintaining that style. We need to save something. So when we wanted to save something, this avenues
Mm.
which are like additional source of income, we
Mm.
should we should have a window to keep coming on a regular basis. It's
Mm.
not only for our I mean, no, if there is anything eventualities or something, even for to take care of our goals.
Mm.
In the initial question I was talking about, even to take care of our goals also, the regular goals like upgrading our car or maybe upgrading our house, anything for that matter, which will help us to know, it will be a stepping stone to get that achieved quickly.
Mm.
So that is how we need to look at. That is what we always advise and recommend. So always look out for some good avenues. So there are a lot of companies, like we said, SBI, STFC, ICICI, and TCS, whatnot. No, so all these companies, when you look at, all these are there in the industry for a very long time. Okay, so many companies, we keep using it on a regular basis. Any bank for that matter, or maybe you take it no not only HCL and Bharti Airtel and all. So we look at Colgate, Palmolive, so and ITC. So these companies are there in the industry for a very long time in the Unilever. So many companies, they are growing really strong. Okay, so we should slowly participate in those businesses through
Mm.
either through stocks or through our mutual funds or maybe portfolio management services, whichever as per the risk appetite. Because these stocks, one side will, if it is stocks, it will give dividends. If it is mutual funds, anytime it's there is no exit and all those things in that. Actually, it's not lock in most of the funds actually. So those kind of open-ended funds we can look at, and we can explore those opportunities instead of looking at only that traditional way of parking it in fixed deposit and other
Mm.
stuff. So we should keep as a reserve, but still these are the things which will help us to get because we were talking about crypto, we were talking about bitcoins and all those things. What are those actually? They are more riskier than these things, because
Correct.
these companies we are looking at for a very long time. From our
Mm.
childhood, we are looking at. We are banking with them. We are using their products. So all those, when we look at, these companies are growing strong, and their financials, every time whenever we see their financials coming out in media and all those things, so we know for sure it is growing good. Okay,
Mm.
in that case, so that is one of the good source which for a passive income. Okay,
Mm.
and little less risky also, as per my term, my knowledge. Okay,
Mm.
uh, because it may not know. I mean, I'm talking about the large cap ones actually, the bigger companies. What we were talking about, these are not much of market volatility also. So even
Yeah.
if it's dropping for some situation, it will bounce back.
Yeah.
So those kind of things, avenues which we need to look at. So that is my advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
really enlightening. Like, I'm not a very finance person, and like you said, I invest very less. And
So,
it's like post office or what the other very
yeah, that is
safety,
what it's a traditional one.
yeah, the safety ones. So
Yes.
you've given us an idea as to, it's better you can invest in companies like this.
Yes, because we are seeing that on a regular basis.
You'll
Any
have a better,
product,
yeah.
right? We are seeing that on a regular basis. We are using it. Until unless it is good
We will not use
for a
it.
longer run, we will not use that, right?
Correct,
So
correct,
that is
yeah.
how we will have to look at, and we will have to experience that actually, instead of looking at only what are we doing. End of the day, we are giving them money to grow their business. Why don't we participate and ask them to develop our money? They will
Correct.
handle our money, actually speaking. Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over to Pankaj. If you have any questions, Pankaj.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alagu, for the wonderful panel discussion. And Thiyagaraj sir, thanks for sharing the wonderful insight. And yes, rightly told by you, the we should be able to, have small savings and put in an investment, because our money should also work for us. Because
Yes,
every
yes,
time we're
absolutely.
working for the money, right?
Right,
But
right.
at times the money which we are saving, that should also work for us. And
Yes, well said.
also, if a person is having a financial peace in his mind, for sure can be or she can be more productive in their real life, because
Absolutely.
everyone is bothering about money only. Everyone is, having a lot of calculations going on in our mind every now and then. Whether it's
Yes,
you, me, anyone and everyone out in this room is always going on with some or another calculation, right?
yes, yes,
So once, as rightly told by you, that one should have a mediclaim, right? Why mediclaim? Because at the end of the day, why are we saving money? We are saving money for something like this. But
yes.
it takes a lot of time to save money. But when we go in a hospital, all this money goes like, in a minute. Okay. So
Right.
if we have a mediclaim, suppose for a couple of thousand rupees, we have some of the lakhs, a couple of lakhs of rupees insured
Yes,
for us, right? So
yes.
we are very clear that for a couple of thousand rupees, we are getting that lakh of rupees, right? Same is
Right.
with our life insurance. If we are paying something and at least having security of surety of that particular thousand lakh rupees or crore rupees, at least we are having that peace of mind. So
True.
yes, rightly told by you, and this is what I have personally, experienced the power of small savings. I started doing
Yes.
SIPs. Okay, there was a time when I started with 1,000 rupees, and today I've been able to do in couple of thousand rupees, and that accumulation that gives us the confidence, right?
Right.
And yes, the companies are growing. India is a growing economy, and as the Sensex is moving on a daily basis, obviously our
Right.
money will also work for us. So even I, as an individual, recommend everyone out here to start putting some money in SIPs for long term for their children or for their future. So
Absolutely.
I totally, vouch for it in place of Thiyagaraj sir. So SIP is something which really helps, because it doesn't it is not heavy on our pocket on a monthly basis, but when we look at 1 year 2 years down the line, there's a good accumulation on that. So thank you so much for sharing in, sir, and I'm totally on it, and I'll try and keep on saving more. So without taking much of the time, I would like to invite Miss Rashmi for a small quiz, so that she can ask a question and see how what people have taken away from this session. Over to you, Miss Rashmi.
Thank you so much, Pankaj sir. And it was a very enlightening discussion, very useful because we are earning money and that should be invested in the right source, right resource, and the returns are important as well as the risk factor is also important. And sir has enlightened on various other factors as well. What is the interest rate on sovereign gold bonds? Is it 2%, 3%, 2.5%, 3.5%, or none of the above?
Good,
Already
good, good.
Mr. Sukumaran have answered.
Yes.
He is always
Yeah.
winning the quiz actually. So
He's
Sukumar ji, congratulations for winning again this quiz, and Mr. Arul will do the needful for you, sir, going
yes,
forward.
yes.
Right. So thank you so much. So without taking much of the time, sir, the uh, The panel is open for quick questions, so we can have two questions to Mr. Thiyagaraj, 2 to 3 questions from the people, and you can ask your question. And if not, then we can move forward. So, Mr. Senthil want to ask a question.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Today's session was really awesome. But unfortunately, today, Indian education doesn't enlighten us with this kind of information, what we imbibe today from you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So my question is, suppose if a person has some money in PF, and what would be the best way for him? Should he need to continue without disturbing the PF, or he need to, as you said, we need to rechannelize it into some mutual fund?
Sir, continue with PF. PF is one of the good avenue because you are
Uh,
saving tax,
uh,
okay,
uh,
and it is completely secured,
uh,
and it's an accumulation of funds
okay.
for a longer period. So it is
Mm,
good. So those things we should not know leave, and moreover, no, you cannot save more also there. It is like 1.5 lakhs is what capped in a financial year. So in that
mm,
case, so let it continue. What I'm talking about is like whatever extra money we keep it for our savings, that
mm,
can be kept aside for these kind of investments. Either it is
mm,
like Sir Pankaj was talking about SIP, or maybe like no some bulk investment
mm.
in mutual fund, or maybe
Mm.
picking up some good stocks. So those
Okay.
things, no, you can do it actually. So that
The
will help you to know get better returns.
Okay. Coming to the next part is about the mediclaim that you were mentioning. So
Right.
presently, like an employee work having a secured job has some corporate medical card, and he goes with the corporate medical card. At the same time, as you suggested, if we need to go for a private mediclaim on his own, even though he has the capacity to go for it, there are some medical norms and clause where he may not be able to fulfill that medical test criteria. So
Okay.
in that case, how do we strike a balance, and how do we overcome that situation?
So the corporate insurance, what we have, there is no medical and all those things. I mean, like whatever illness which we have.
Mm,
So irrespective of any illness or something, no, they are not doing any medicals or something. They are giving us a policy. So that is like anytime we can no use it.
yeah,
Apart from this, what I'm telling you is, like for an example, if I'm a diabetic, okay,
yeah, yeah.
so I should simultaneously go for one policy.
Mm,
When I take it now,
mm,
the premium will be very less.
mm,
Okay. And again, for any diabetic for patients, for an example, I'm just telling you, when I take it
mm,
today, the policy which I take will not cover diabetic for at least 2 years minimum.
mm,
Okay. So I will cross that 2 year gap when I take
mm,
it now. So
mm,
currently, if something happens, my official cover will help me. But
mm,
tomorrow, if I'm not with this job,
mm,
tomorrow when I take a break, like
mm.
many of us do, right? When we
Correct.
switch over job, or maybe when we get into retirement, or maybe venturing out into new business,
Correct.
that point of time when I get into a new policy,
Mm,
these kind of illness which is no pre-diagnosed, or maybe later stage also we might diagnose some of the illness that
mm,
may not be covered in the new policy.
mm,
That we miss out most of the time.
mm, mm,
We say, no, I have a cover of
mm.
10 lakhs, 50 lakhs with
Yeah,
my office. So
yeah,
let it continue. I
yeah.
don't want something new.
Mm,
But this, when you think about it,
mm,
tomorrow, if you are not in the job,
mm.
so what will happen? So that is the reason I was telling you.
So in that case, how do we take a private policy of our own?
Yeah, you should take one actually. There are
But when we go
multiple.
for that, we will not be able to fulfill certain medical norms or class for
No, no,
taking
that is
the.
what any class for that matter. As I told you, if I'm a diabetic, they will have a gap of 2 years. Like for an
Uh,
example, if I suffered a heart attack, or
mm,
maybe there is something
bypass it.
done by bypass or
Mm,
something. So again, no, for covering that, they will
uh-huh.
have some lead time. That is basically no
So,
either 2 year, 3 year, 5 year.
mm,
So those kind of no time will take care when
okay,
we do it early stage, when we
okay.
take it in the early stage. Moreover,
Mm,
whenever we take it in the young age, so
mm,
all these issues will not come up only.
yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
now the
So
time has gone. We
still
get
you
wiser
can.
when we grow older.
Yeah, still we can,
Uh,
without any further delay. That is what I advise generally. Without any further delay, you should also know run one policy simultaneously
okay.
with your employment or maybe corporate whichever offered to you. Let
Okay.
it stay with you. Let it be with you. Okay, that will
Mm-hmm.
help you as long as you are employed, as long as you are with the corporate. When you
Mm-hmm.
are away from that corporate, this should help you. So
Okay.
that is how I'm just telling you. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Senthil, for asking that
Good evening,
question.
Tyagarajan, sir.
Good evening.
I would like to ask a question, sir.
Yes, please.
This is, of course, a very preferential question.
Okay.
Any latest investment policies where it is favoring the women and the interest rates are more? Any such policies are there, sir?
Interest rates generally, when you look at interest rates, it's all from no fixed deposit and I mean, sorry, the bank from the banks and the postal schemes. There are multiple schemes which is favoring to the women's basically, so that we can look at. Other than this, in terms of investment, there is nothing as such, specifically for women's. As per my knowledge, I don't know seriously.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
And any particular investment methods which see whenever we, for example, if you are investing in share and bonds and all, we need to
Right.
whenever we are transferring, we need to have some. We are having our interest rates and all that is there. So any particular investment policies to in the latest trend which has a lesser capacity of we are not giving so much interest when we are transferring bonds or when we are taking the capital and using it.
Okay. No, I'm not getting your question. I'm sorry.
See, so
Transferring
for
in the sense.
example, we are investing our money in bonds
Okay.
and shares and all that, sir.
Right.
So when we are taking the money back or when we are closing the account, we need to
Okay.
pay the government certain amount of tax and all that.
True.
Okay,
Correct.
that is the case.
Right.
So in that case, there is all the taxes are there, GST, everything, etc., etc. So
Okay.
any particular way which we can reduce it
So tax is
from an
basically,
investor's point of view, I'm asking.
okay, see, tax changes according to the investments. Like for an example, when you are looking at equity short-term capital gain is 15% and long-term capital gain is 10%. Okay.
Okay.
When you are looking at fixed deposit as a avenue, this goes as per our tax bracket. Okay. So every instrument, every investment instruments when you look at have different categories of taxations. So as per your risk appetite, you go for it. Like when I talk about equities, the taxation is less, but you should have a risk appetite to invest in that,
Okay.
right? So that is how it goes. So best thing is you can take an advice from your financial advisor and the tax consultant. They will help you on this because every instruments will have different taxation. Even the debt fund have different taxation, equity have different taxation, mutual fund is different. So generally debt mutual fund and equity mutual fund have different taxations. PMS, alternate investments, everything have a different as per alternates. When you look at, there are different categories. So every category one, category two, category three, that is how the investments get differentiated. So
Yeah,
everything have different.
that's what I'm meaning. In
Yeah.
that case, in which case the depositor or benefiter, who's me, can benefit from less tax. In which particular
See, when
investment?
you
That's
are
what I'm
looking
asking.
at a less tax, I don't have immediate answer because depending as I told you, it depends on the everyone. I mean, any individual basically. So what is my risk tolerance level and what is the corpus I'm looking at? What is the time frame I'm looking at? So whether it is 1 year, whether it is 3 year, whether it is 5 year, 10 year. So what is that I'm looking at? Even the bonds when we take it, there are some carry no indexation benefit, not straight away 30%, some with no indexation benefit of 20%. So when I'm talking about some alternates, which is like no inbuilt when it comes to our end, it is tax free. Some of them like insurances, there are tax-free insurances, PPF, what I'm talking about, it was actually tax-free when it comes to our hand. So there are many avenues. So it has to be, sit on a face-to-face basis and discuss. What is that really you're looking at? What is your corpus and what is your time frame? What is your risk appetite? So what is your existing investments, the asset allocation? All those we need to look at. It is not only about tax. Tax saving is one of it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, without taking much of time, already we are at 7:30. So, I would like to invite Mr. Senthil Kumar for the summary. And, sir, over to you for the summary.
Yeah, thank you, Pankaj. Uh, Without wasting much time, let me directly go to the crux of today's session. So we started with the traditional income. So there are four modes of traditional income. One is land, real estate, gold, post office saving. And we went through each of them in detail, like a school uh, learning. So back to our school, how land, where we talked about the litigation and it is not structured and organized, but it is a good income. Next is in a real estate, we discussed about that it's a commercially, it's a good investment, but it is complex in the maintenance. And third one was with gold, which incurred for gold ornaments, we incurred money for the making charges and labor charges, which comes as secondary expenses. And whereas when we go for the bond, we get 2.5% on a monthly return when we go for a long tenure of 15 years.
It's 6 month once interest.
Okay. Similarly, in post office PPF, we were discussing about the 7.5% average over a period of 15 years. And it is backed by
7%.
the backed by the government of India. And in bank deposit, you said is such a good way of investment. But in all the above, the people get trapped by the word guarantee. But we don't know the inherent meaning of this, where because the same government like SBA and other people, other organization try to invest the same money in stocks, shares, and business. So in this, why can't we directly, instead of lending money for a long tenure, why can't we directly take up the role and try to get the better result, reap a better result out of it? This was one enlightenment what we got in today's session. And if at all, if you need to venture for this, don't take risk more than a 10%, like what we mentioned in the
8%.
system. Yeah. So one such is when we have any, if we foresee any job threat or something, we need to always plan our income with reserve of 6 month expenses, emergency fund, so that we don't disturb it. And next is always try to enforce to have a medical claim so that to facilitate the family members at right time. And next is a good health insurance to protect the family is really mandatory. And same way we were talking about the asset allocation and the risk mitigation, where Alagu had asked the question, thought-provoking question of what is asset. And we discussed about the mutual fund, stock, portfolio, crypto are all part of this concept. But the one thumb rule, what you mentioned very clearly, is where there is no clue on source of money, please refrain from going for investment. So these were the quick crux what I could able to sum up for today's session. So. But before we end, I just have one question. When we talk about the mutual fund, and can you just help us or help our team or benefit our team with the three thumb rules? At what situation we need to go for a mutual fund? Because now, if you see the election is coming, sometimes the market keeps fluctuating. So, what are the three golden thumb rules that we can consider when we go for a mutual fund?
Sir, so don't look at the market. So start early for the youngsters and anyone who wanted to start, look at a long-term horizon, sir.
Hmm.
Don't look at the volatility because now
Hmm.
we are talking about Sensex, no, be somewhere trading around 73,000 level, 70
Yeah.
to 73,000 level it touched. So it has seen a lot of, no, it has come up from low levels, right? So it has
Hmm.
seen a lot of fluctuations.
Hmm.
So sometime back, because of the war, there was a correction.
Yeah.
Earlier, COVID, there was a correction. So
Correct.
every reactions, the market also react.
Hmm.
So don't look at the short-term,
Hmm.
fluctuation or volatility. Don't look at
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Always keep your money for a longer period.
Hmm.
Definitely, it will bounce back. Any,
Hmm.
okay, so it will be good to grow your money much
Hmm.
better than your regular traditional investments. Yeah. Especially mutual fund is completely diversified. So the risk is not too much, actually speaking. There are a lot of no balanced funds, conservative funds are available. According to your risk appetite, you can take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing in. And this is something which can take the entire day to discuss, actually, right?
Yes, obviously, right. It has to be
So we
discussed
will
one-on-one.
definitely look forward to have a separate session from Mr. Thiyagaraj to have better understanding for the benefit of the rest of the people. Sir, so but yes, you can all be in touch with Mr. Thiyagaraj on LinkedIn. Already his link has been shared on the chat box. So now I would like to invite Mr. Arul for the vote of thanks, and then we can have a thanking video because already we have crossed 7:30. So Thiyagaraj sir, from my side, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
the good insights, and I look forward to be in touch with you and have good, learnings from you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Thiyagaraj sir, for joining us today's episode and giving us so much of inputs and insights on the topic today. On behalf of Leaders Connect team and members and visitors of today's episode, it gives me an immense pleasure to thank our guest, Mr. Thiyagaraj and the panel discussion leader, Ms. Alagu Lakshmanan, for spending your valuable time in sharing your experience and insights. To know more about Leaders Connect episodes, kindly click on the below link, which is shared in the chat box, to get daily updates about Leaders Connect 360. Thank you all for joining today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yes,
Have a nice evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Arul, we can have a thanking video and then we can close.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining in today. Thank you, Arul. Thank you, Thiyagaraj sir.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you,
great
Thiyagaraj.
evening.
So,
Bye. Good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Pankaj. Thank you.
Bye, Arul. Thank you.
Thank you, Alagu ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arul. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.